Hey, everybody, welcome to Love and Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I'm your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here today with Angela Passman, the founder of World Pet Travel and author of the book Fly With Me. Angela, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ben. Doing wonderful.
Yeah, this is gonna be exciting. We're talking about one of everybody's favorite topics here. You know, they say if you want to get people interested, talk about babies and talk about pets, and we're talking
Abs-
about pets today.
Absolutely. It's definitely a
Yeah.
conversation starter.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Get in the comments, y'all. If you have a pet, get in the comments. I want to know what kind of pet do you have. All right, and if you don't have a pet and you want a pet, get in the comments and let us know what kind of pet you would have. I do not have a pet, Angela. Okay, but if
Mhm.
I've relocated a lot in my life. All right, I've relocated from New York to Texas, from Texas to Florida, from Florida to Texas, from Texas to North Carolina, from North Carolina back to Texas, from Texas to no wait, no, to Michigan, then to Michigan. Anyway, I relocated a lot, okay? And if I want to keep relocation on the table, what kind of pet, what kind of relocation friendly pet should I choose for my family?
A small one.
A small one. So not like a cane corso dog or anything like
Not a
that.
cane corso. They're difficult to move domestically, so definitely a small dog or cat.
A small dog or cat. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I want to ask. I got so many questions. I feel like this show's gonna be a lot of fun because I got so many questions here. Get in the comments, y'all. Hit that like button. I want to hear from you out there. What kind of pet do you have, and have you ever relocated your pet before? And how did you do? If you did, how did you do it? Because I have a feeling a lot of folks just think there's one option, and just that's drive. But Angela, there's more than one option, isn't there?
There is. There's multiple options, yes.
Yeah. Sharina's here checking in. Yay. Welcome, Angela. What's up, Sharina? Super producer Sharina. We love Sharina here. I love all things pets. So excited for this episode. Sharina, what kind of pets do you have, Sharina? No pets. She loves them from afar. Okay.
Oh
Put in the
gosh.
comments what kind if you were to get a pet, Sharina, what kind of pet would you get? Puppy? Is there a particular kind of puppy? Golden doodle. How
Hmm.
Angela, how are golden doodles to move?
They're difficult to move domestically because they're quite large unless you get a miniature golden doodle, and then we can talk.
A mini golden doodle. But I notice that you keep saying domestically. Are they
Mm.
easier to move internationally?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Why is something easier to do internationally? I would think everything's harder to do internationally.
Well, domestically speaking, the larger pets cannot fly. There's only a couple of airlines in the US that fly domestically, and they don't take the larger breeds or the
Oh,
dangerous breeds or the restricted breeds or the
okay.
snub-nosed breeds. So going internationally, you've got endless options as to which route you go. The paperwork is more difficult, of course, and the requirements are more difficult than traveling within the US. But to find a plane, hop on a plane with a big dog, not a big deal.
Interesting. So internationally they can fly, but domestically, what do they do? How do you move them domestically then?
By ground.
Wow. So people drive them?
Mhm. We have drivers that move people domestically from East Coast to West Coast, depends on whether you wanna travel 3,000 miles with your cane corso or you want somebody else to do it. Um, that's where we come in.
Wow, 3,000 miles with a cane corso. I imagine. I mean, is what type of? I mean, what kind of qualifications does a driver have to have? And by the way, get in the comments, y'all. I want to hear your thoughts here on pet relocation. Have you relocated a pet? What type of pet do you have? Daisy Sinclair. I know Daisy has a dog. Daisy, what kind of dog do you have? Hi, Angela. We are excited to hear from the expert in pet relos. Yeah. What does it take to be a driver? I mean, you're going to be in that car 3,000 miles with a cane corso. You're driving from Tampa to Seattle with a cane corso. What I mean,
Mhm.
how do you do that?
Well, the first thing is you gotta meet the animal welfare rights, regulations, and you have to stop with that cane corso every 4 hours. So every time you get gas, you gotta take him out for a potty trip and
Uh-huh.
let him exercise his legs a little bit. So that 3,000 miles takes several days to get accomplished. So far as the the requirements for a driver, they have to be pet friendly, first of all. Then they have to go through extensive training, CPR training,
CPR training too?
for dogs. Yes, sir. Quite a bit involved in a driver taking a pet across country.
Is CPR training the same for dogs as it is for humans?
Not exactly. It's similar, but not exactly.
Um, how, I mean, like, what, how can you tell me more about that?
Well, since I'm not CPR certified, probably not.
Yeah. What, I mean, I mean, are they doing like chest compressions? I mean, that's what I was always taught, right? Get on the chest, stay on the chest, staying alive, all that kind of stuff,
It depends on the situation. It depends on the
yeah.
situation.
What do people need to know when they're relocating an animal though? I mean, what does kind of the process look like?
First and foremost, plan ahead. Plan ahead as many months in advance as you possibly can. Um, there's always vaccinations or testing that needs to be done. We're talking internationally that need to be done, that need to be prepared in advance. And the more time we have to prepare, the easier the move goes. So, like we're right now preparing for moves that are going this summer,
Okay.
um,
So
getting
how long in
everybody.
advance? Because I know when I was in the moving business, they would always say like, give us like, well, some they'd always want 6 to 8 weeks, but I mean more realistically, like 4 to 6 weeks. But how far out are we talking for pet transport?
It depends on the destination, Ben. A good rule of thumb is 2 to 3 months.
Oh, wow. Is that for international and
Yes,
domestic, or is it different?
for international. For domestic, we can do it in 2 weeks,
Is that
provided
because it costs more internationally? So you want to book further in advance, like if we were to book an airline ticket, or what? Or is it because of more of the paperwork and stuff like that, the shots and
you'd
things
be
like that?
surprised. Traveling internationally is not that much more expensive than traveling domestically, depending again on the animal that you have. Um, it may be a few $1,000s to move domestically if you're traveling by ground with that large cane corso. We need to change that to Bernese Mountain Dog.
Bernese Mountain Dog. What is a Bernese Mountain Dog, and what's the difference? I don't.
Bernese
Bernese.
Mountain Dog.
That sounds like Bernese. Bernese Mountain Dog. What's a Bernese Mountain Dog? Is it the?
A lot of hair. A lot of hair. Big dog.
Are they priced as like is the service like priced differently based on like what type of breed it is?
Because of the size, yes.
Okay,
Because
so
of
it's
the
just
size that it takes
size.
up in the plane or in the vehicle, yes.
So
Now,
is it more
ground
like the
transport,
height and weight, or height and width, or is it more like the weight of it?
height and width and length. Length, height, and width.
I'm trying to remember my volume calculations from school, right?
Yeah, length
Okay.
times width times height divided by 366 gives you how many kilograms of volume you've got. Um, and that dictates what size travel kennel you're going to need and what it's going to cost.
Okay. Get in the comments, y'all. I want to hear what kind of pet do you have, and have you ever relocated the pet? Ashley Dooling checking in. Great to listen to you, Angela, Matt, and Ashley with Jem. Look at that. Hey, Ashley, it's good to see you. Ashley, do you have a pet? Put in the comments, y'all. Let us know. Russo says, very important topic to discuss. Thanks for your input. Hey, Russo, do you have a pet? Put it in the comments, y'all. I'd love to know. And have you relocated a pet, or do you work with relocating pets? Very curious. We got a question for you. Daisy says, please share your most favorite pet transport story.
For me,
Yeah.
okay. Many years ago, I moved a husky, Siberian husky, to Costa Rica from Denver. And the owners told me this dog, Archie, wasn't going to make it. He was just too stressed out and too upset and too high strung, didn't like his crate. Just there was no way he was going to make it. I told him, you take the Valium, leave Archie to us.
You take the Valium. Did Archie need Valium too?
Archie did not need Valium. When we got to the cargo hold in Costa Rica and they opened up the cargo door, Archie was asleep. We
Okay,
started
just
away,
chilling,
just chilling. This was
chilling.
Archie. Yeah,
So
he was
really, the owner is that common where the owners are more stressed than the pet?
always, always. The pets handle it fine. They sleep through the ride. It's kind of like us putting on our headphones on a plane and just in and out of sleep. That's the same way they are. They're just resting to the tune of the engine.
Is
Um,
is that why most own or is that probably the biggest challenge you face is that convincing owners that it's, acceptable or best practice to allow you to handle this for them?
yes, it is. We just had a lady the other day that decided she wasn't going to move her dog to Central America because she was just too worried about the layovers and the length of time that it was going to take. So she changed her mind. She's not moving.
She's not relocating at all now because
No.
she was worried about the dog.
Mhm.
Wow. See, it's interesting. We hear this about children all the time, how I can't move. I've got kids in middle school or kids in high school or my kids would never do it. How often do you hear relocations kind of fall through because people are worried about transporting the pet?
Well, this week I've heard it. This is only Tuesday, twice this week. There was another incident where the corporation didn't pay for the move for the cats. And so she's going to rehome her cats
So
before
she
she
is
goes to
she
Switzerland.
is moving, but she's going to rehome the
She's
cats.
moving, but she's gonna rehome her cats of 10 and 12 years old, which is
Oh my
horrible.
gosh. Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. I wonder if that has an impact on the success of the
Oh,
relocation.
absolutely. Absolutely. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
This woman is moving for her husband's job. She's gonna have to leave her cats behind, and you think he's not gonna catch hell for it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of resentment there.
Oh, absolutely.
It's hard
Absolutely.
enough fitting into a new area, without a support
Mhm.
system. But then, if you don't have your cats, which are your probably your biggest support, I imagine, it's
Absolutely.
tough. Yeah, get in the comments, y'all. I want to hear your questions. What pet do you have? Put it in the comments here. We're talking to Angela Passman, the founder of World Pet Travel, expert on pet travel, and we want to talk a little bit about. We got questions coming in here left and right. Appreciate y'all. Ashley has a ghost praying mantis. Do you move ghost praying mantis or manti? I don't even know.
I haven't yet, Ashley, but if you'd like for me to look into it with all y'all's travels, let me know.
How would you move a insect? I guess this would be like a spider. I mean, do you move spiders and other types of insects?
I've moved tarantulas before to a zoo in Prague. Um, so yeah, we can move them. They move insects, fish, uh, every kind of creature.
Do you put those on a plane or is it
Mhm.
the same? Now, domestically, can you put those on a plane or do you have to drive them?
Praying mantis or tarantulas?
Tarantula.
No, you can't put them on a plane.
So really, really very, very few animals are going on planes in the US, sounds like.
Dogs, cats, rabbits, ferrets. That's pretty much it,
Okay.
domestically speaking.
All right. We got questions coming up here. Oh, Sharina's got a good one here, of course. How and when did you start World Pet Travel?
I started World Pet Travel in February 26th of 1998. I moved to Central America with 4 dogs, 4 cats,
Wow.
3 children under the age of 10, and an au pair that didn't speak English,
Oh my goodness.
and it was something. We hired a company to help us. Things didn't go quite as they had planned, so I jumped in and started trying to figure things out on my own, and that's why I started World Pet Travel. I found a better way than how we were transported, whole lot less stressful, and that's my key with everything is to try to make the stress less for the client and the pet.
What
So
was
that
that company doing? Sorry, but what was that company kind of doing wrong that you were like, hey, there's got to be a better way?
well, they took me to the airport with that load that I mentioned and left me to put the animals on the plane, left me to get them checked in, left me to handle customs when I
Oh my
got to
God.
Central America. Um, so we were kind of their guinea pig because they had never been to this country. And they said, well, if you can figure it out, then you go ahead and figure it out. I figured it out. Nobody
Wow.
died. This bird right here went to Costa Rica and back with me. Maxine traveled down in 98 and came back in 2007. And she's
It,
CITES protected.
who's Maxine? Is that the bird?
That's the bird.
Hey, Maxine, how you doing? Oh, she's getting shy now. Look at her. She's hiding now. That's great. And who can you introduce us to Maxine?
Maxine is a Senegal parrot. She is 32 years old.
Oh my gosh.
She We thought she was a boy for many years until she started laying eggs, and then we figured it out.
Ain't that
Turn back
just how it works? Look at that.
around.
Hey, Maxine. She's shy. She's 32.
No.
Oh
Mhm.
my gosh. And how long do Senegalese parrots typically live?
40 to 50 years in captivity.
Wow.
So my
It's,
kids are trying to decide who's gonna get Maxine when I pass away.
oh gosh, that's fine.
Morbid.
Morbid a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Um, that is really wonderful. And so Maxine went to Costa Rica with you. What was
Mhm.
the hardest animal that you transported to Costa Rica and during that trip? It was the bird.
The
Why was
bird.
the bird? Why was the bird more challenging, say, than the dogs and stuff?
The bird had to have, um the bird had to have special documentation because he's protected under the Center for International Trade of Endangered Species. So he had to have special paperwork to go to and from.
Okay, interesting. Okay, wow, this is a whole new world for me. I'm like really excited about it. Okay, this is interesting. And so you started, and we got more questions here too from Daisy and Russo and yeah, keep these questions coming. We're gonna get to all of them, but I just want to follow up on Sharina's question about starting World Pet Travel. So the f- the first I get the first experience, using another provider. You were you were like, hey, there's got to be a better way. You found a better way, but that's the first time. That's the genesis of it. Was there
I
anything
had
about? Go
I had
ahead.
moved pets. I had moved pets. I worked with veterinarians in my local area when I lived in Tennessee, and I had worked with veterinarians and helped them with shipping pets here, there, and yonder, just kind of as a hobby. And then I guess that's why the company thought that I knew more than what I knew, going to a country I'd never been to before.
Okay.
So I decided that that was it. I I was gonna do it more than just as a hobby, and it turned into a business, surprisingly. Um, we're
Was there
doing
something about running that business that was like kind of maybe unexpected?
How many people needed help?
Mm,
I was really surprised how many people really needed help because the airlines aren't that easy to figure out. They were back 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a lot easier to figure out than they are now. Now the logistics is quite a few hoops to jump through. Um,
is it
so
is it more so now? Why has it gotten more difficult?
because the airlines Animal Welfare Act has strict made their rules more strict.
Hmm.
Excuse me. Um, the airlines have made their rules more strict. The countries have become aware of the influx of pets, and many of them have changed their regulations. 28 years ago, I moved a Great Dane pup and an Akita to Haiti. I couldn't do that today.
Really? Why is that?
Planes are smaller, countries are in turmoil. Um, it's just not it's just not feasible right now. Too large a dogs for the smaller planes, and the airlines seem to be flying smaller planes everywhere now than they were many years ago. And you might know there's 737s flying across the US, which only allow a dog equivalent to a Australian Shepherd. about that size of a dog, a smaller Australian Shepherd or a Cocker Spaniel or something to that effect. They'll travel with them, but anything larger than that, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Get in the comments, y'all. I'd love to know what kind of dog or pet you have, and if you've ever relocated your pet. We're just talking to Angela Passman here, founder of World Pet Travel.
What were we discussing? I do
We were just
apologize.
talking about, the challenges now and how it's harder to
Mhm.
ship, so especially some of these breeds of dogs and things like that. How the planes have actually gotten smaller and the regulations have gotten harder. And it's really fascinating that you don't think about planes getting smaller and things like that. I haven't really considered that.
Well, you look at a 737-800 plane, they'll take up to a 400 travel kennel, which is 36 by 24 by 27. They'll take a crate that large, but that's the largest they'll take. And going domestically or internationally to certain countries, that's the only option you've got. Um, we have people call us and they say, well, my dog is bigger than that.
Right.
Well, then we can't go the route that you want to go. We need to go this route instead, go a little around the moon a little bit to get there,
Yeah.
but we can get there
Yeah.
to most
It,
locations.
very interesting. Um, Speaking of crates, Daisy said, "What if the pet is not crate trained and they have to travel in a crate? Is that extra difficult?"
One of the main things we try to educate people on is how important it is to crate train their dog. I'm going to tell on myself for a minute. One of the times that I moved my Akitas to Central America, not the first time, but one of the times when I moved them back, because we used to go back and forth,
Yeah.
I thought, I've got a 150-pound Akita. He fits in this crate just fine. He won't need to be acclimated because he's laid back, easy going. Vet thinks he's a Labrador dressed as an Akita. He's just so calm, easy going.
Yeah.
Tobby busted out of his kennel because he
What?
was not happy.
Oh
He
my
was not
gosh.
happy being locked up, and I didn't think he needed to be crate trained, but evidently he did. So when they opened the cargo door, there he was staring at him, just as happy as could be.
I bet they did not expect that.
They did not expect that, but it happens a lot. It happens quite a bit. That's one of the reasons airlines have gotten more strict with their crate requirements. We've gotten more strict with having people to acclimate their dogs to the crate. Cats, not so much, but dogs definitely need to be acclimated to the crate because they can bloody themselves up pretty good trying to get out of that crate.
Oh, geez, that's tough. So the Akita gets out of the crate though, and like and what now? They just have free reign of the cargo hold. I mean, what happens next? Like, I'm kind of curious what goes on down there.
Well,
Like,
they can worst case scenario get into the fuselage, and that's not good. That's happened on planes before, and one of the reasons we have such
sheesh.
strict aggressive breed restrictions. They have to be in wooden crates that are wire lined so they cannot get through the crates. So it's imperative that people crate train their dogs before they take a trip. It really is. And it's easy to do. It doesn't
So
take but a few weeks.
I feel like most people would assume their dog is crate trained, but I guess maybe there's a little extra motivation when they're in this place that they're not accustomed to or something that
Mhm.
Akita starts ramming that crate or something over, oh goodness, over a couple hours. Yeah, and that's probably what people are afraid of, right? Is their dog being down there and not understanding kind of what's going on, maybe. I don't
Mhm.
know. But I, I've
They
got a
are.
couple more questions here. Let's get in the comments, y'all. I want to know what kind of pet do you have, and have you relocated your pet before? Let's see here. Rousseau says, what are the most common challenges people face when relocating with pets internationally, and how can they be mitigated?
That's a really good question, Russo. The first and most important thing I mentioned earlier was planning ahead. Uh, when we plan ahead, we don't get surprised at the end. And the more time we have to prepare, the better off everybody is. When you want to move somebody in 2 weeks to Bangkok, It's not easy. It's a rush job, and accidents are prone to happen when you're rushing something like that. So give it 2 or 3 months. You can get the import permit, you can get the vaccinations in order, you can get the documentation in order, you can get the crate adjusted or get the crate acclimation taken care of. It just moves much smoother with a little bit of notice.
So crate acclimation, that's the process of getting them acclimated to their
Crate
crate. Okay.
train. Mhm.
Crate training. Okay. Got you. Do people, I mean, is the pet relocating the pet somewhat of an afterthought, or do they just kind of put it off because they don't want to think about it? I mean, what
And
happens there?
unfortunately, it is an afterthought. The lady that was going to Switzerland, she thought she's gonna move her car, she's gonna move her household goods, and here she's gonna move her cats, but she'll get to the cats in a minute. And when she got to the cats, she was out of money. She just
Oh, like
she
so her
couldn't afford it.
relocation budget was up.
She didn't have a relocation budget for animals. She only had it for her household goods, and she even had to move her car, so her car cost more than she'd anticipated. She didn't have anything left for the cats.
Is that a common problem that, is that where there's not a pet relocation portion of the budget, and it has to come maybe out of the miscellaneous expense allowance in the
It
budget?
is it is a huge problem in the corporate world, Ben. They don't A lot of people don't wanna touch pets because they feel they're too emotional. There's too many chances of things going wrong, but 2.2 million pets are transported every year, and out of that 2.2 million, you have a handful of incidents, and most of it is not death. It's someone broke a nail or they tried to chew through the crate. That's an incident according to the airlines. So they don't die in transit. They don't die being prepared for transit. They do very well. I've moved tens of thousands of animals. I've had one arrive sick because the owner decided to feed it before it was time to fly, so it aspirated. Um, but the other ones, we've not had any problems. Everyone arrives safely, a little jet lagged, wanting water and food, but they arrive safely. So there's not any danger to doing this if you do it right, if you hire someone that knows what they're doing.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's really what people need to know. I mean, 2.2 million pets are moved each year, and only a handful of incidences. I think that puts a lot of pet owners' minds at ease.
Absolutely.
Get in the comments, y'all. I want to hear your questions here. Sure, we should definitely clip that. I think people need to know that for sure. Let's see here. We got a couple more questions here. Caroline Cook says, "What should a pet owner prepare in terms of quarantine when you arrive in the new country or location?"
It depends on where you're going, Caroline. Not all countries, in fact, very few countries require quarantine anymore. When they do require quarantine, you don't need to do anything to prepare. The food is taken care of, the care is taken care of, and the facility will take care of everything that the pet needs once it arrives at their facility.
So really, quarantine is not really much of a consideration in most countries.
It's not for many countries. It is for some, but not for many.
What about coming to the U.S.? Is that a
Depends
quarantine
on
requirement?
depends on where you're coming from. Uh, 2 years ago, CDC implemented some new rules, which you may or may not know about. High risk dogs coming from, or rather, dogs coming from high risk rabies countries. And now they have to pass a rabies titer test. They have to go through a checklist of regulations in order to come into the US. If they haven't done their rabies titer test and waited 28 days, then they are subject to 28 days of quarantine. But this is only pets coming from high risk countries like I can't even think of any right now.
Yeah.
Uh, China, for instance, coming
Okay.
from China,
Okay.
coming from Korea, coming from Manila, coming from South America. Certain countries in South America are high risk for rabies. So the pet has to either do quarantine or do the testing and that checklist prior to, so they waive quarantine.
Interesting. Really fascinating. This is a whole new world for me. And I'm loving it. Get in the comments, y'all. If you got questions here, we've got Angela Passman here, founder of World Pet Travel and author of Fly With Me. I want to hear about that book here in a minute, but we got a couple more questions here. So get in the comments, y'all. I want to know, what animal do you own? And if you've ever relocated your animal. We got a couple more questions here. Actually, you know what? I got a question. Melody actually sent in a question. It's not populating here, but I'm going to read it. Melody Phillips. What's up, Melody? She says, what is the largest type of pet you have ever moved?
Well, we're getting ready to move some zebras. So
Some
that's
zebras, or in Cameron's world, zebras, perhaps.
zebras. We've moved horses. We haven't moved any zoo animals like rhinoceroses or elephants. We have not done that. It is done, but I just haven't personally done it.
What
So
is different about how moving a horse, let's say, than moving a Cocker Spaniel?
horses have to do quarantine here. They have to go through testing here. They have to go through quite a bit before they can go to their destination. And then in their destination, they have to undergo quarantine and testing. There's quite a bit involved with moving a horse.
Are corporations moving horses for employees? Is that done, or are these private citizens?
We've
Or
had we've had people contact us before with corporations wanting to move a horse. So there are some that are doing it. They generally have a horse or two and dogs and cats, and so we move the whole group.
incredible, incredible. So the largest pet is a zebra or a horse, is what I'm
Zebra?
hearing.
Yes,
I
sir.
like this. I like saying zebra. I heard zebras have stripes so that they
They
look
do.
like grass, because tigers are colorblind. Is what I've heard. You can fact check me on that. Half of Sharina's job is telling me I'm lying. So go for it. Go for it, Sharina. Tell me if I'm lying. Put it in the comments. Cameron from the UK says, what happens if you move to a country where your pet isn't allowed, like how certain dogs are banned in the UK, but not in the US? Is there any way to get your dogs over? Cameron, what kind of dogs are banned in the UK? I'm kind of curious here.
Pit
What do you,
bulls.
pit bulls? Is that it?
No, but that's the main
Um,
one, most
yeah.
popular. And
So
then
what, what about them?
there's not a way to get them into the UK. Um, they check them at the border crossings. If you try to fly into France, for instance, and take the tunnel over, they'll check them at the border crossing and they won't let them in. So there's just not really any way around it, unfortunately.
What if it's a pit mix? Is that also banned?
Yes. I
Huh.
forget you can't hear my head rattle, so forgive me, I'm catching up.
Yeah, yeah, no, all good, all good. Cameron, good question there. Cameron, do you have any pets? Curious over there, what kind of pets they keep in the UK? Let's see here. We've got Daisy asking, because Daisy comes from an RMC background, so she's always thinking about the customer experience and the
Mm.
transfer experience. And she's saying, this is so interesting. How often do you update owners during the pet reload process?
We let them know when the pet has been checked in, we let them know when the flight has taken off, when the flight lands, when they've cleared customs, when they're making their connections, where they're making their connections. Just anytime there's an event that happens, we let them know.
Okay. All right. And Sharina's got a question about operationally. Can you give us a preview of what it looks like behind the scenes during the pet relocation process?
Oh, that's fun.
People are
Uh,
really interested in how this works.
the main thing is we have to check documentation. So we're checking our documentation to make sure everything is in order. That goes through a couple of different people checking the regulations against the country regulations, or the documents against the country regulations, making sure that everything is square and we don't have any mistakes. Veterinarians have a tendency to write rabies certificates that don't meet travel requirements. So our first thing is to get that done. properly. And then, not that they're doing anything wrong, it's just required for travel, whereas it's not required for every day keeping your dog in the backyard uh,
Okay.
or at your feet, wherever it happens to be.
You got a dog down there?
I do.
What kind of dog you got down there, Angela? I knew there'd be pets on this show, y'all. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah,
I asked my
he's
team, they're like, no,
here
there's no
now.
pets today. We already got a Senegalese parrot. We got a dog running around there.
Yeah, the
So
dog has escaped. He's moved away from here.
Cameron's got a Labradoodle somewhere running around over there.
Oh, there you go.
But you were saying about the rabies
Mhm.
certificates and things like
The
that. And
rabies
it's just
certificates, and then getting the documents done. Um, Getting the documents in order, that requires special attention as well. We make sure that the documents meet the requirements of the of the destination country. So once they've been done here, we send them off to the destination country to get approval. Once that's done, the animal is good to fly. We put them, we pick them up or meet the client near the airlines and tender them to the airlines. We take them for a last walk, last water, last no food,
no
uh,
food, but water and bathroom.
water and bathroom. Then we check them into the airlines. Then, like I said, we follow where they are through the process and keep everybody informed. We've got a tracking system for them. Um, so we know where they are just about 24/7 on the nose. Occasionally, the airlines don't update their systems as they should, so occasionally we're a little behind in letting them know where the animal is, but if that's the case, we just go to the agent in that country and say, "Hey, did Molly land? Is Molly okay? Has Molly cleared customs?" "Yes, yes, yes." Then we let the client know.
Nice. Nice. And no food beforehand
And
because we don't want
beforehand.
a bathroom situation or
Well,
what's the
that
deal?
coupled with we don't want them to aspirate. I
Oh,
mentioned to you that I had one dog that arrived sick. That's
mm.
because the owner decided to feed it at 3 o'clock in the morning before we picked it up. And then the dog aspirated shortly into the flight and it developed pneumonia. So after spending a week in London in quarantine for a week, which it wasn't supposed to be in quarantine, but they had to determine the dog did not have pneumonia, that it had just in fact aspirated. And then
Okay.
the dog was fine. It went home to the owners. Everything was great after that, but it gave us all a big scare.
Yeah, that is scary. You know, yeah, aspirating's no fun, no joke. Okay, so no food right before. How long before the flight is no food?
6 hours.
Oh
Gives
wow,
them
okay.
time to go to the bathroom and relieve themselves and get that food out of them.
Yeah, so they're going to be hungry getting off that plane though.
They're gonna be hungry, but how often are you hungry in an airport too?
Often, every time, every single time.
Yeah.
Daisy says, "What is the most outrageous pet?" And we know the biggest is a zebra. What's the most outrageous pet you've ever moved?
That's a tough one. We've moved kinkajous, we've
What
moved
in the world is
gazelle.
a kinkajou? I'm sorry, stop. What is a kinkajou?
You're gonna have to
Sounds like he
Google it.
sneezed. Oh, Sharina's on it. Sharina's just Googled it for me here. Put it looks like a lemur
They
almost.
call it a honey bear.
A
They
honey
call it a
bear.
honey bear. Mhm. Cute little thing with
Yeah,
a very
it's
long
little
tail,
though.
similar to a lemur, only smaller.
Okay.
That was fun. We
Kinkajou.
moved that to France.
Where
That
did that come from? Is that
Chicago.
US? Chicago? You don't think of
Mhm.
kinkajous in Chicago.
Yeah, somebody's personal pet.
Oh my goodness. My dad owned a monkey in the late 70s. He was a real
Mm.
hippie. He used to have a capuchin monkey. And you move monkeys? Is that a thing still or?
Monkeys, I've moved one primate. There you go. There's your dog.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. That's a cute dog.
This is Pippin.
Hey Pippin.
Um, do I
Cute.
move monkeys? No, I moved one primate 20 years ago. I have not done it since. by
Is that a
choice.
conscious choice? I was gonna say,
By
why?
choice. Yeah, you have to get all dressed in your zoot suit, and it's quite a process. So I don't want to do that.
When you say a zoot suit, what do you mean?
One of
What do you
those white environmentally protected suits,
Uh-huh.
you have to wear
Why?
those because monkeys carry diseases.
I mean, I guess I saw the movie. I saw Outbreak, but I didn't.
There you
Is that
go.
that's for real? Like monkeys carry
That's for real.
diseases, like, and you could get it, so you got to wear a hazmat suit,
Zoot suit.
and yeah.
Yeah,
And what kind of monkey was it?
it was a chimpanzee.
I'd be more afraid. Honestly, I'd be more afraid they go violent on me and rip my face off. To be honest with
Well,
you,
that too.
Sharina's in the rip my face off category. I'm not as concerned about the slow death by Ebola as much as I am the rip my face off death. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So you did it once 20 years ago. Was it a corporate relocation or was it a private transferee?
It was a zoo move.
A zoo move. Okay. Do you move a lot of zoos or not anymore?
Not anymore. We're about to get involved with a zoo in Singapore, and we're going to be moving some pets. I hope moving some pets for them over there. That's where the zebras are going, and the gazelles are going, and the different different livestock we're going to be sending over there. So we do a little bit, not a whole lot.
So when you move a gazelle, because you started to tell me about a gazelle before I got so enamored with the kinkajou. Is it kinkajou or kinkajou?
Kinkajou.
Kinkajou. Um, but gazelle. I mean, those are fast animals. Those are
Well, we hope
strong,
not.
I imagine.
Transporting them.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. How do you transport a gazelle? It feels like someone needs to run wild.
They have to go in a wooden crate. Just all animals have to go in a wooden crate. It's sized for them exactly, so their horns are included, and they've got room to move around a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
They
Okay. Do
it's a
do
thing.
do they sedate them? I mean, I hate to ask, but do they sedate them at all? No.
No.
Oh
No, when
wow.
you sedate an animal, the airline won't take any animals they feel have been sedated because
So
it
just like
lowers their
people, huh?
respiratory rate. It lowers their
Yeah.
respiratory rate and
Okay.
intensifies and lowers their heart rate. So it intensifies at a higher altitude is what I was trying to say.
Yes, right. So oxygen gets thinner up there and it
Mhm.
would make things worse, I imagine. Okay, interesting. Super interesting. Melody wants to know how many years have you been doing this total?
28 years, February 20th, past February.
Wow. Really cool. Really cool. So if you were to give some advice, sometimes we have, corporate relocation managers watching the show, or we have relocation management companies watching this show. What type of advice would you give to folks who are managing relocation processes you know, when it comes to animal travel?
Don't rule it out. Give the give the transferee the money they need to move their pets so they're happy. Um, Either in their lump sum or a special allocation for pet moving. You know, they move kids. They move kids, but they don't move the furry kids.
Mm,
And they should. We had a lady that moved with us 3 times, I believe. We moved her to Malaysia, back to the US, back to Malaysia, back to the US over several years. And she would get very upset because the company wouldn't help pay for it, whereas they would pay for her neighbor's kids.
mm.
They would pay for the kids, but they
But
wouldn't pay
not the
for their
fur babies.
pets,
Yeah,
not the fur babies that they considered their children.
right.
So I would strongly encourage the corporate world to think about helping with this cost to make the family more whole when they get to their destination. It makes everybody happy.
And what's the best way to structure that in your opinion? Is it to say, I'll move one pet, I'll move two pet, no matter the cost? Is it to say, here's a budget of X? What is the best way to structure a policy like that?
I don't know that for certain. I would say a lump sum for with a limited amount, a limited dollar amount, maybe
Okay.
2 pets, and if they have more than 2 pets, then they're responsible for the additional pets. Most people have 2 to 3 pets that we
So kind of
move.
like a managed cap kind of situation.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah. That's probably
Yeah.
what I would do.
Yeah. I like that idea. So are you thinking maybe two? Two is maybe a good number?
2 pets? I would say 2
Yeah.
pets, yes.
Yeah. Two pets. And then after that, listen,
After
and
that, you're on your own. You gotta get
yeah,
the other ones on your own, but
I
if you
figure it
can
out.
save the money on the 2 pets, you can move all 4. So and so a lot of countries won't allow but 2 pets to come into the country anyway at a time. So if you're going to India, for instance, you can only bring 2 pets in. You're going to Australia, you can only bring 2 pets in. It varies by country.
So two pets internationally is kind of tends to be a common cap.
Mhm. It
Okay,
does.
gotcha. You know, Sharina would love to hear about your book, Fly With Me. Tell us about the book.
That was my COVID baby. That's what I did during COVID. I'd worked on it for several years prior, but I summed it up and finished it up and edited it and published it during COVID or right after COVID. Um, it tells some stories about people that have done things the right way and not so much the right way. It gives a lot of fun facts on animal transport and numbers and stuff that you can look into to see how that 2.2 million pets move a year, what the
Right.
incident levels are, how many pets move with which airlines, when, during the time the book was written. Um, it's it's a story from my heart. It's some of my favorite movies, favorite moves, some of my not so favorite moves,
Yeah,
all lumped into one book.
that's awesome.
I'm working on a second because there's always more stories.
What's that one going to be about?
Paws Across Borders is probably what that one will be called. It'll probably be just a continuation of what I've already done.
Okay. All right. So kind of a yeah. All right. Makes this goes kind of almost a sequel to the
Yeah.
first one. So Fly With Me book. It looks like you can buy that book on the worldpettravel.com website there.
Mhm. You sure can.
Very cool. And Sharina put a link there. Hey Sharina, can you
Thank
put that
you.
link in the comments on oh perfect. Oh, it's on Amazon too. Now I got a question for authors, right? And my dad writes books too, but would you rather them buy it via Amazon or via your website?
It doesn't really matter to me.
Okay.
I have it tracked either way, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, that's what I always hear, and I always assumed that people would rather buy it on your own website. Maybe you keep more money or whatever, you know. But
Mm.
a lot of times people say, "Oh, buy it on Amazon. Give me a good review," and I'd rather it rank highly over there than
Right.
buy it on my web. You know, so I'm always curious how people would rather work. So
Right.
Sharina put both the links in there. She has the Amazon.com one and the worldpettravel.com link in the comments there on LinkedIn, so you can check those
Thank
out.
you,
Thanks,
Sharina.
Sharina. Look at that. You might end up getting yourself a book. You mess around here and get a book here. And you are here local to us here in Dallas, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Very cool. We're in Richardson. Whereabouts are you?
I live in Rockwall, but the office is in Grapevine.
Oh, very cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah, yeah, we're in Richardson, not terribly far from Rockwall,
Mhm.
but yeah, cool. Well, I want to play a little game with you, Angela. Want
Okay.
to play a game with me?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's have some fun here. All right. We are going to play a game. It's everyone's favorite part of the show. It's called Overrated or Underrated. And the game's very simple, Angela. I'm going to give you a topic, and you are going to tell me if it is either overrated or underrated.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then I'll tell you if you're right. All right. Let's get into it. Okay. Overrated, underrated. First topic is professional pet relocation services.
Underrated.
You know, you've convinced me. You have convinced me. I've been a lifelong mover, so I've always been a fan of just make sure we get those household goods there. But to be honest with you, you've convinced me. Now, I'm not a pet owner myself, but I'm now understanding
Change
the
that.
importance of moving the pets as well.
Yeah, we need to change that, Ben. Everybody needs a
Don't
pet.
tell my kids that because my kids have
It
been
makes you
asking me.
happy.
They do, and they make you live longer too, don't they?
They do. I mean, look at this bird. She's going to outlive all of us. She's not going to outlive me.
Well, it doesn't help me if my pets outlive me. I mean that's I don't, I don't need that. I just need
Don't
to
get a
make me
bird.
live longer. Yeah.
Don't get a bird.
Don't get a sea turtle. Anyway, yeah, professional pet relocation services definitely underrated. I love the idea of having a two pet policy, domestically and internationally. I think that's good. Maybe with a budget on there as well, and then people can obviously cover the rest of it if they need to. But I think that's really smart. All
Mhm.
right, next one up. Overrated, underrated. Thinking pets can easily travel.
Underrated.
Okay. Okay, tell us why.
Because people don't anticipate the paperwork that's required. Now, they can travel easily. Maybe I misunderstood the question. They can travel easily emotionally and physically, they do fine. But to do it simply is not in the game. You've got you've got to put forth some effort to get it done correctly to make it
Hmm.
to travel easy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So what you're saying is it's easy for the pets, but it's harder than you think for the human, and you need to get started earlier in the process.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, all right. Next one up: overrated, underrated, microchipping. Let's just stop there. Microchipping,
Underrated.
underrated. Tell me about microchipping.
Well, you've got to be microchipped to go just about anywhere these days.
You can't come into
So
the Glomo office without it. I'll tell you what, we microchipping everybody around.
you've got to be
Just kidding.
microchipped to match the documents to the pet. So
Okay.
if you don't have a microchip attached to that rabies certificate, you can't tell that that dog that they just scanned goes with that rabies certificate.
I'm going to go off left field here, but I just read a headline that said Washington State was like the 14th state to preemptively ban microchipping for employees. I know this isn't where you're going, but I but I read that over the weekend and I didn't realize there was so much legislation around microchipping out there. I didn't know that there was so much conversation. And yeah, Sharina just broke some news here. Yeah, yeah, this is what happens at companies without HR departments here. Yeah, we microchip everybody here.
There you
Sorry,
go.
Melody. Melody's new here. She doesn't know that we microchip everybody. So Sharina's like, that's wild. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But no, I guess this is enough of a conversation piece that like people are actually passing legislation saying you can't do it. So just interesting.
That is interesting.
I'll say I think this is absolutely absurd and wild to talk about with human beings. However, my kid ran off at the state fair, okay, this weekend, and there was 30 seconds where I wished he had microchip in him.
I
Okay,
bet you did.
okay, so you know, I don't know, I don't know. All right, so
There's
microchipping's underrated. Okay, all right, yeah, I'm with you. All right, next one up: overrated, underrated. DIY, do it yourself international pet moves.
definitely overrated.
Come on, can't you just put a can't you just put a dog on your make it a lap dog or emotional support animal vest on that dog and then pop it on your lap and fly to Dubai? I mean, that doesn't work.
Oh, no, no, no. For so many reasons, it does not work.
Can't just put that pit bull on your lap and fly to London with it.
Yeah, no, no, no. Definitely underrated. Overrated, underrated. Which one is
Yeah.
it?
Uh DIY international overrated. People think they can do
Overrated.
it and they
Yeah,
can't.
no. No, 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 no. We get
Yeah.
calls often from people that think they can do it themselves and they start getting involved in it and realize it's not as easy as we thought it was going to be.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I can totally see that. People probably think that's easier than it is. Yeah. All right. Last one up here. Overrated, underrated. Emotional support animals.
Overrated.
Overrated. Why is that?
The airlines don't take them anymore, for one thing.
Oh,
Uh, as
I
of
didn't know that.
December 2023, they stopped taking emotional support animals. So you can take a bona fide service dog, but you have to prove that it's been trained, that it's gone through school, that it's
It's got a
uh,
degree.
got a degree. Yeah. Yeah.
It's got
You
a
have to prove all
license.
of that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize that they stopped taking those in 2023.
Yeah, I think the what do you call that thing? The bird. The what's the bird with the pretty feathers? Peacock.
Cockatiel or a peacock. Oh,
Peacock.
okay.
When someone brought a peacock as an emotional support animal, they decided that maybe they need to adjust the DOT rules just a little bit.
Oh,
So they
okay.
did.
Wow. Hey, get in the comments, y'all. Let us know how we did there on this overrated, underrated. I agree with you. Emotional support animals overrated. But you know, I was sitting next to a lot of animals on the plane, and I'm like, you just why just just call Angela. It doesn't we don't got to do it like this. Let's just call Angela. Teresa says, "What is the most unusual pet you have moved?" I think you answered this before, but answer it for
I
Teresa
did.
if you don't
The
mind.
kinkajou. The kinkajou, the gazelle, a couple of different ones.
No rhinos yet, though.
No rhinos yet.
Elephants.
Yep, none of those.
Thank you, Teresa. Hit that like button, y'all. Let Angela know what a wonderful job she did out there. Angela, you want to leave us with a final thought before we sign off today?
Please plan ahead. And corporates, consider moving pets for the families in addition to their non-hairy children.
Non-hairy children. I like it. Thank you so much, Angela. It's been a real pleasure, and I've learned so much today. I really appreciate you being with us. And thanks everyone who tuned in today. Hit that like button once again, and I appreciate y'all. We wouldn't have a show without you. So thanks everyone who made this possible today. Thanks to Sharina also for producing the show. Did a wonderful job. Angela, I look forward to meeting you in person soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ben.
Take care, everybody.